So for the last couple of months, as most of you guys know, is that there was a petition that was floating around in order to do $2,000 monthly stimulus checks for adults and then also $1,000 for kids. This was something that was going on for the last 1 to 2 years, but the really great news to maybe start off to share is that as of Friday night, so specifically Friday, January 7th, 2022, that petition has now officially reached a brand new milestone of 3 million signatures of people basically now officially supporting doing a fourth stimulus check. Now, I do notice that, of course, right now at this time, there's a lot of controversy and a lot of mixed opinions based on what's been going on with the world of fourth stimulus checks. But in today's update, I really just want to talk about what this new achievement really is going to mean now for the world of fourth checks, and also about certain things that are now going on, even beyond this, on the side of just the world of just stimulus, and simply put as always, programs meant to put money inside of our pockets during a time of much need and even growing need now because of the new cases of what's been going on with Omicron and everything that's been happening. So we're gonna get started, but as always, real fast, before we begin, consider smashing the like button because at least we are talking about something positive at the end of the day today. Consider subscribing and hitting the bell if you are brand new here. Huge thanks if you guys have been here for a while. You guys are awesome. And as always, feel free to comment any questions, personal thoughts about honestly anything. Maybe what you think is going to happen by the end of this video. So with that being said, let's get this video started. So as just mentioned, is that the big achievement right now is that petition that has been going on for the last 1 to 2 years has now officially reached 3 million signatures. And this comes actually specifically from the actual petition's website on change.org. Maybe I'll just link that petition down below. I do know most people have already signed it, but there are still a lot of new people here, so huge welcome, and I guess to really spread and share the word. But the big idea is that on this website, which is the official petition's website, this is where you can essentially sign the petition if you're interested, and it actually even shows the live count of each person that signs it. So as you can kind of see from looking at it on the side is that they're getting signatures on a live count pretty much every 1 to 2 minutes, or just simply put is that it's definitely moving and making a lot of progress. Now, the big thing to notice is that I know that one of the very common questions is about what's going to be happening forward from here, and also the probability of what this actually means. So the big thing is that now that they've officially reached 3 million signatures, what they're really hoping to do now is to essentially take this petition and now bring it into Congress to show them that there's a lot of people that really believe that there is a need to do more stimulus checks. And at least the big idea, I think most of all, is that we're trying. And I think that's the most important thing, is at least we're trying to give some effort, even if it might be a little bit difficult at this current time. Which probably goes on to the next point, which I do know is that there's a lot of people that are also wondering about whether or not, or how impactful this new thing is going to potentially impact stimulus check. So the big news to maybe share is that at this current time, when it comes to just what's been happening in Congress, the great news is that there are definitely stimulus talks in general. If you're just talking about programs that are meant to put money in our pockets, the maybe lesser good news is that at this current time, because they are really focused on what they're trying to do in terms of stimulus programs, the just general news is that admittedly, and I know this is not what people want to hear, but the real truth is that it's probably going to be difficult for them to really be able to push through and actually do what this petition is about, which is pretty much $2,000 monthly stimulus checks for adults and $1,000 monthly stimulus checks for kids. I do think is that because this program is obviously on a very strong, extreme level of generosity, which is really good for us, but obviously means it's very difficult to be able to approve. The fact that they've already struggled to approve just a standalone $2,000 stimulus check means that it's probably going to be difficult to approve of a $2,000 monthly stimulus checks. So that is maybe something that I know is not necessarily easy, but it is just important to put out there. Now, maybe onto some much more brighter and hopeful news about what is actually probably probable in this situation is that the great news, or just the general news is that because right now they're currently struggling to approve the Build Back Better plan, what looks like is going to happen is that they're probably now going to essentially start to restart the talks again to write up a brand new fourth stimulus package. But what is probably also even more likely to go on is that because of right now we currently have the new rise of Omicron, because unlike a lot of the other variations or mutations, the big thing is that life is actually already physically being impacted right now. There are many businesses that are starting to close down again, or certainly at the very least downscale, especially if this is a business that involves working directly face to face with people, because a lot of people are now starting to go out. I do know is that this is probably very location dependent, but I can certainly say from firsthand perspective as someone who's currently in New York City right now. Of course, feel free to comment what it's currently like in your particular state, because I know there's a lot of variation. There are some states that are very cautious and other states that people kind of just treat it as if it's a very regular day thing, and they're just like, oh, it's maybe just a rumor or something like that. So obviously there's a lot of, different opinions, but speaking specifically in New York City, I know that there's a lot of people that are on guard. There's a lot of difficulties in trying to even get testing in many, many cases. And I'm speaking this not because this isn't a news article, actually, because I'm speaking this from someone currently living here right now. So everything you are hearing at this, just basically related to this, is coming from firsthand perspective, especially because most people know is I do work in the events industry outside of this. So my job is also one of the jobs that admittedly is being directly impacted from this. So I do actually relate from a very firsthand perspective there. But the brighter news is that what is going on is that there are a lot of talks right now about potentially trying to do a standalone package to do very, very targeted checks right now. We did talk about how there's currently talks about trying to do a standalone bill to do the child tax credit, which is essentially to give money to anyone that happens to be a family or happens to have a child. There are also a lot of talks right now about trying to do a standalone stimulus check, specifically to help support businesses. We did talk about that in a previous video. I believe the name of that video is literally called New Fourth Bill, because it talks about a new fourth bill, as the name suggests, dedicated to businesses. So if that does happen to apply for you, especially if you are a small business owner, if you are self-employed, if you were previously on the PUA program, which I know applies to a lot of people, or the EIDL EIDL grant, this is going to potentially be something that is going to hopefully help out if it's potentially able to go through. But the big idea, what's really looking probable right now, is that they're probably going to start negotiating and try to push to do stimulus checks, but very, very targeted checks. And how this relates is that now by having this petition going on, especially because the creator of this petition was actually also a small business owner as well herself, or themselves, because it was started by someone, but technically it was their family, but it's just the wife within that family is the one that really pushed it going, or pressed for it to build up. But the big idea is that they're hoping that by having this petition now, it's going to at least give them a further press to do more stimulus checks. In other words, to gain even more support to do it, even if it doesn't necessarily lead to this, if it can potentially, hopefully at least get the ball rolling to lead to some kind of program that can hopefully help out some population of people. And I think that's really the ultimate goal, even if it's not the original plan, but to at least have some plan and relief come to as many people as they possibly can. But beyond this is that that's what I really wanted to share in today's update. So the big thing is we have to see how the cases evolve. We have to see what happens with the petition. We have to see what they do with negotiations. But if you guys found that relatively insightful, maybe consider smashing the like button. If you guys haven't done so, consider subscribing and hitting the bell. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, feel free to comment any questions, personal predictions about honestly just really anything. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, stay safe, stay well. well, and hope to see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much again.